eastern limits, western limits, and northern limits, and the southern limits. By doing so, we were able to sum the environmental records in a more effective way. As you can see here, we have the offset, we have the property limits, which is in white. 0.25 is the red line, 0.5 is cyan, blue, 0.75, and magenta, 1 mile. What we found is that we had no leaking storage tanks within 0.5 miles, but we found 4 within 1 mile. For the Florida dry cleaning program sites, we found one which was on our site, which is known as the Ivy French Dry Cleaners, which proposes a possible wreck. And we found 4 within 1 mile. For the fuel facilities, only one was found, which was to the north of our site, and this is known as the mobile gas station, also within 1 mile. So, for US NPDES, we found 8 within 0.5 and 18 within 1 mile. US RCRA generators. I'd like to state that there are 3 types of generators. We have the large quantity generators, small quantity generators, and the conditionally exempt small quantity generators. What we found on our site that we only had the conditionally exempt small quantity generators. For the Florida storage tanks, we found 17 within 0.5 miles and 40 within 1 mile.
Okay, the purpose of the site reconnaissance is to make external and interior observations of the properties inside in order to find possible wrecks that could affect the future owner or future construction of the project. Also, observations of the surrounding areas of our site and adjacent properties were conducted, as well as the current uses and conditions of buildings inside. Our team believes that this is an important aspect because we were able to find possible wrecks that are not actually recorded in the public records. Here's an example of the piano gallery. As you can see, we have algae and mold growing on the walls. This could be because of humidity or irrigation system, and also lack of maintenance of the building. Here's a closer look of the mold which we found on the piano gallery. As you can see, it's eating off the paint, and like I said before, it's because of lack of maintenance of the building. Here's another view of the piano gallery. We have a rain drainage system right next to an electrical connector, which we found that is a big issue having water right next to an electrical system. Now, on the parking lot area of the piano gallery, we found some oil stains which could affect the surrounding environment by through runoff and possibly discharging into the canal. Now, to the south side of the piano gallery, we have some stress vegetation. This could happen because of lack of light or lack of nutrients. But in this case, we found a lot of illegal disposal, solid waste, and we believe that's the reason of that stress vegetation. Here's another example of stress vegetation, which is behind the enormous construction. We also found a lot of illegal disposal, like John mentioned. We found propane tanks, all rusted rims, and also a lot of empty containers. Now, at the same location, of enormous construction, we found 2 underground storage tanks, one which was closed and belonged to the dry cleaners in the 90s. Also, this one is currently open and used for fuel, and it was put there in 1999, and we also consider this a possible wreck. Now, across a third highway behind the wheat theater, we find another tank, which, as you can see, has diesel fuel with an attached backup generator. This was put there in 2008, and is also a possible wreck. It's going through a canal, and 316 canal. We see a rusted discharge pipe that comes from the Norris Construction Company, as well as some accumulated waste, which is also affecting the environment of our site. If you go to the west side of our site, by Dixie Highway, we found some old wood which is used for the train tracks. If you see, it has a dark color because they use a chemical called creosote in order to maintain the train tracks. Maintain the wood on the train tracks, and also we found also used train tracks, also solid waste and stress vegetation in that area.
To understand the land a little bit better, a parcel map, topographic map, as well as an elevation map was created. Here on the parcel map, we have the benchmark, which is located on the far northwest end of our site. And on this parcel map, we also have, it shows the current usage of the land, total area, and current value of the property. Here is an up-close picture of the benchmark created in 1965 by the U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey.